Hi everyone, and welcome to RUBIN'S Mind Lab, where we break down the latest research into what it really means. Ever wonder why some people get dizzy in virtual reality while others are fine? Well, this new study dives deep into that very question. So imagine strapping on a VR headset to play a game or explore a virtual world. For some, it is an amazing experience. For others, it is a one-way ticket to feeling super sick, like they're on a really bad boat ride. This feeling is called cybersickness. And the big puzzle scientists are trying to solve is why some people get it much worse than others, even when they're using the exact same VR gear. In this study, researchers at Iowa State University wanted to see if things like our general health, our mood, and even our personality could explain why cybersickness hits some people harder. They brought in 252 people and had them play one of 5 virtual reality games. After playing, everyone filled out a questionnaire called the Simulator Sickness Questionnaire, or SSQ for short. This basically asks them how sick they felt, with questions about nausea, dizziness, and blurry vision. They also measured how long each person could stay in VR before they had to take the headset off, either because they felt too sick or just decided to stop. This time in VR is what they call tolerance. Now, we already know a couple of things that make cybersickness worse. The type of VR game you play is a big one. Some are just more likely to make you feel sick. And if you are already prone to motion sickness, like car sickness or seasickness, you are probably going to be more susceptible to cybersickness too. The researchers accounted for these things first. Then, they started adding in all the other stuff. And guess what they found? For how sick people felt, the SSQ scores, 3 things really stood out. First, being tired or fatigued. If you are feeling drained, you are more likely to feel sick in VR. Second, pain sensitivity. People who are more sensitive to pain in everyday life also tended to report more cybersickness. And third, sex. The study found that women, on average, reported higher SSQ scores than men. But here is where it gets interesting. The factors that predicted how long people could last in VR, their tolerance, were different. Everyone's known susceptibility to motion sickness played a role here. If you are generally prone to motion sickness, you probably won't last as long in VR. But they also found something surprising: agreeableness. Agreeableness is a personality trait where people tend to be cooperative, kind, and considerate. It turns out that the more agreeable someone was, the less time they spent in VR. This is super interesting because it didn't mean they felt sicker, just that they stopped sooner. The researchers guess this might be because more agreeable people are more willing to go along with instructions. Maybe even to stop when asked or when they start feeling a little discomfort, or perhaps they are more willing to report being uncomfortable. Now, these factors together helped explain about 29% of why people felt sick and about 24% of why they lasted as long as they did in VR. That might not sound like a lot, but in scientific terms, that is pretty significant. It means these personal factors really do matter beyond just the VR game itself. So, to wrap it all up, what does this mean for us? Cybersickness isn't just about the technology, it is also about you. If you are feeling tired or you are generally sensitive to pain, you might be more prone to feeling sick in VR. And if you identify as a woman, you might also experience more symptoms. These are factors related to symptom severity. On the other hand, if you are worried about lasting a long time in VR, your general motion sickness susceptibility is key, and surprisingly, so is your agreeableness. This suggests that the design of VR experiences should really consider the user. When making VR for training, education, or even therapy, they need to think about how tired someone might be, their individual sensitivities, and even their personality traits to make sure people can use these amazing tools without feeling miserable. Now, a few things to keep in mind. This study was a single session. We don't know if people would get used to VR with multiple sessions, which is something researchers are looking into. Also, they use brief measures for things like personality and motion sickness, so future studies might find even stronger links with more detailed assessments. And while they looked at the headset's interpupillary distance, or IPD, which is how lenses line up with your eyes, they didn't find a strong link to sickness in this study. But they did note that the headset they used has a limited range for IPD adjustment. Overall, this study is a really important step in understanding cybersickness. It tells us that our personal state and traits are significant pieces of the puzzle. For designers and users alike, this means paying attention to how you are feeling before you even put on the headset, and recognizing that some people might have a tougher time with VR, not because they want to, but because of these underlying factors. It highlights that cybersickness is not just one thing, but a complex experience influenced by both the virtual world and the real person experiencing it. And that's it for this Mind Lab exploration. What do you think about these findings? Have you experienced cybersickness, and do any of these factors resonate with you? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe for more dives into the fascinating world of psychology. Well, see you next time.